I was like, where's my video? What's up? What's up? Hey, beautiful.
See you jamming.
Yeah, it's Ice Cube. You know how we do it. Thought it was fitting for you and me. What is it, like our fourth collab?
Probably. Yeah, we did so many.
Yeah, I know. I love doing collabs with you. It's the best. We just really vibe well on our topics and just, as coaches and friends in general. So thanks for thanks for jumping on with me today. You look gorgeous and I love those earrings.
Thank you. I was just thinking, I always love when you wear those headbands.
Oh, you do?
I'm like, oh, that's so cute.
It's my secret inner gangster. I can't, it always comes out in me somewhere. I don't know.
That's hilarious. I love it.
It's my SoCal girl, I guess. So
Yeah.
yeah, I am like insanely excited for today. Like
Yeah.
when we were just like kind of shooting in the shit the other day. How do you say it? Shit in the yeah, shooting the shit. The other day, and we kind of stumbled upon this topic. I think we've both been like on fire about it, right?
Yeah, because it's such a fun topic and it's something that I don't feel like gets addressed very often.
Yeah.
It's a simple thing and it can have huge impacts on people's well-being.
Seriously, I know, right? So, if they don't know what we're talking about, so the topic for today is, loosely just like uh, anxiety and your phone health, or anxiety and your thyroid health, and how it all ties into your phone and our interaction all day long with our phone and what it's actually doing to us during the day and at night while we're asleep. So,
Yeah. And do you want to just do a little intro of yourself too for anyone who doesn't know you?
yes, of course. So I'm Coach Sarah Joy, and I specialize in helping women that have a thyroid condition. There are multiple thyroid conditions, so I help women that have like one or even a few, and I help and support transform their lives to help them just restore their energy, their digestion, their self worth, and just like a total transformation of their like whole lives in general. And
Yeah.
I love it. I'm a former thyroid patient myself, so I really relate to my clients on a very deeper and more passionate level. And I just absolutely love it. And I'm going to heal the women. My mission is to heal the women of this world, one woman at a time.
I love that. And I also love too that, you went through your own healing journey, therefore you know what it's like.
Yeah.
And that's what sets one of the many reasons that sets you apart from other coaches and what sets me apart from other coaches. And honestly, I feel like most people who go through the same certification that we've been through, they have their own stories, their own health stories, and that's why they do what they do. So it's very
Yeah.
unique, a unique experience. And me, I'm Stephanie Nelson, and I'm an anxiety freedom coach, and I help women overcome anxiety without medications so that they have the freedom to live the happy, confident life of their dreams, helping and serving others. I have a real passion for helping women who feel really trapped because that's how I felt when I was going through the worst of my anxiety. I felt trapped and honestly felt trapped in my own home at times because it was so hard to go out and do things. So it's been really fun in this journey to see the transformations that women can have in, just one session or 90 days and beyond. And yeah, it's very rewarding work.
Absolutely. And I love that. I love your term for yourself, the anxiety and freedom, because yeah, I have a lot of experience, as most women with thyroid illnesses have a lot of experience with anxiety, and it is trapping, and it is like you build your own prison.
Mhm.
And it's like once you get deep in that dungeon, you don't know how to break out of it. And
Yeah.
so yeah, so you're a really awesome coach, and it's The way I like to look at our coaching is what we do is we're like the that light, like we're shining that light and we're like reaching our hand out like we've been there. Come on, grab my
Mhm.
hand and let us pull you up and dig you
Yeah.
out of that dark abyss.
Yeah, we know
So,
what works. Yeah. And I know I've said this to you before on one of our calls that at one point I thought maybe I had a thyroid issue because, anxiety is a symptom of having an imbalanced thyroid.
mhm.
Fortunately for me, that wasn't the case, but I did uncover a bunch of other things that I was lacking. So yeah, I love how we vibe on that same level.
Yeah, for sure. All right.
So
So
yeah,
go ahead.
just the basics of phone. So most people I find, and the reason this came up in our conversation was because I was at my parents' house and I was helping my mom with some new gadget she got, and I had to do it on her phone. And I saw that she had her whole top line, all notifications. And I was like, why do you have, being the daughter and always, that's how we do to our parents and our friends and our siblings. Like, why do you have all of these, notifications? And the reason why is because having all of those notifications on your phone, you don't really realize how much it's contributing to your anxiety, to your stress, and for, thyroid, for your thyroid issues and the anxiety that goes with having a thyroid issue. And, our brains are not designed to have that much stimulation and that much interruption throughout our day. So just take a note, like how many times does your phone ding? How many times does your phone vibrate when you get a notification? How many notifications are you getting on your phone? For me, like before, I always had my phone ringer on.
Mhm.
So any phone calls, any text messages, I had my Facebook. Anytime I got a Facebook notification, it would do a ding on my phone. The icon would pop up on my screen. Emails, I had a couple email accounts, random apps, and it's causes a lot of anxiety.
Mhm. Have you ever seen that part? Like on iPhones, we get a screen time notification. I think if you have it on, like I get it every Sunday afternoon, and it tells you how many pickups you do every day. So
Oh,
yeah,
interesting.
yeah, the analytics when you look at your screen time, those can teach you a lot about your habits. And you can look up your pickups or like your opens. I forget exactly what they call it. And that is like shocking when you open that and you're like, wow, I had like 350 pickups today or something or opens, like maybe check that out on your phone sometime.
That's really interesting. I've never heard of that, but I'm going to look at it because that would be, even like for someone like me who I don't have the notifications, I'm sure it's incredibly high
Mhm.
just from the habit of always like reaching for your phone and wanting to see what's happening and who texted you or, what notifications that you have. So
Yeah.
that's really interesting.
Mhm.
And, going back to, the brain and anxiety. So with anxiety, if you're in that anxiety space, you already don't have a high tolerance for stress. And when you're getting that ding, that's kind of sending like a stress signal to your body,
Mhm.
especially if it's someone who's sending you something negative. So if you have someone who's constantly texting you like negative things, or big one that I see with a lot of people is they have news apps on their phones.
Mhm.
And whenever there's a news story, which is all the time, you get that notification that there's a news story and you look at it. So how many times, in the news is the worst. So how many times are you getting that notification for, a news article and you're looking at your phone and you're instantly becoming stressed out?
Yeah.
News articles, that's their whole goal, is to spark an emotional response, and not a good one. Their goal is to spark anger and these high level emotions so that you'll keep scrolling, so you'll keep reading, so that you'll keep liking and you'll keep opening up their apps. And that is creating such a high level of stress and anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything that you want to add with that?
I heard a term this week called political theatrics. And I was like, that's a really good way to describe it. Theatrics. Yeah. I had to stop watching the news. Like, I don't know, a month after everything had started, because it was so scary and it was so overwhelming that I would instantly have like an anxiety attack, like the fight or flight. I'd get shaky. I would just be like, oh my gosh, like frantic, scared. Like it just was overwhelming. And after a couple of those hits, I was like, I have to protect myself from this. This is not healthy. I cannot allow this in my life. And so I have been very careful, especially with the news, of which outlets I'll look at here or there, what days, what times I will allow myself to look at those. Am I in the right mood, mindset to be able to handle whatever it is I'm about to see? Because the news in particular right now is not pretty.
Yeah. And I think I was listening to a podcast last week, and they made a good point that we are in a time where we have the news literally at our fingertips. Where if you think about, years ago, you had access to the news for an hour at night and that was it.
Yeah. I remember my mom specifically when I was like maybe 8, 9, 10, she would click on the news, the local San Diego news, and go start dinner. And she would finish prep to the news.
Yep.
And that was the only time I ever was exposed to the news. It was like, that 30 minutes or an hour, and that was it. It was gone.
Yep.
And now it's constant.
It's everywhere. And it creates a lot of chaos in the brain and a lot of disruption. So if you're trying to focus, and I find this with, my anxiety clients, that one of the things that they struggle with is overwhelm. And one of the things that they struggle with is being able to complete things. So if you have your phone next to you and you're trying to complete a task, even if it's just doing the laundry or helping, your kids with their virtual learning, if you always have those notifications coming through your phone, you're always going to be interrupted. There is a big myth out there that it is a great success and a great feat to be a multitasker. I was for sure that way.
Yeah.
Our brains aren't designed to be that way. When we try to multitask, we end up taking so much longer to do those tasks than if we would have just said, okay, during this time frame, I'm going to do the laundry and that's it. Then we get it done. We're not distracted by all these different things. Especially if you're, trying to work from home. I keep my phone on silent. I have no notifications on my phone. People get mad at me that I don't answer the phone, but I'm like, I'm sorry. Like, I don't live to, answer the phone call whenever you call. Like, I'll get back to you when it's, a good time for me, because I know how much those little interruptions can wreak havoc on my day. And then what happens? You get overwhelmed because you didn't get the things done that you wanted to get done. And that's super common with people who have anxiety, is constantly having that running through your brain, all those things that you want to get done, you need to get done, you should get done. And because you have all those interruptions, you're going to be having more on your plate than if you wouldn't have those distractions and you would have been able to complete some of those tasks.
Yeah, I love that, because I used to suffer with a never-ending to-do list, the mom list. And I would open up my phone at night in bed, and I would go to my notes app and I would write everything down that I needed to do, which felt good, right? I was like, okay, I'm going to get this off my chest. But what I also didn't realize was the second I opened that phone, I'm like re-stimulating my brain and stopping the process of melatonin from being released. So it like essentially wakes you up.
Mhm.
And so that's why if, you know, if you're also suffering from the never ending to-do list, like just use a piece of paper and a pen before bed and give yourself, schedule in 15 minutes to just sit in your bed and think, what do I need to do? What am I behind on? What needs to get done? Write it down, put it away, and take a deep breath and go to bed.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
love that. Yeah,
yeah,
staying away from that was like another one of the points too was at the very least an hour before bed, stay off of social media, stay off of the news.
Mhm.
And it's going to be a lot easier for you to do that when you don't have those constant notifications. Because if you have that notification, when you open that, it gives you like a dopamine hit. So that's the feel good
Yeah.
hormone.
Mhm.
And your body's like, no, you have to go see what it is. You have to go see what it is.
Yeah, it's like
But
crack.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
You don't have that notification. You don't know it's there until you go and look. I can't tell you how freeing it is to not have those dings on your phone.
yeah,
Like you will feel a weight lifted off of your shoulders.
yeah. I 100% agree. I did the same thing. I went through my notifications and my settings and I turned everything off.
Hmm.
I hate notifications.
Hmm, me too.
And I'm the same way. So I started just putting the little moon on my phone that would like stop notifications, but then they still drop down and my eye would catch them, you know?
Mhm.
And I was like, ooh, like distracted. And so I was like, okay, well, this isn't working. So then I turned like the volume all the way off. And because then it would still vibrate too, even when I got the drop down. And
Mhm.
so it was still just like, okay, so I turned it all the way off. And just any sort of like you said, like your phone lights up, something hits, it's like instant. And so yeah, I was just like, I'm done. And I went through and I turned everything off. And like you said, like people get mad at me too. They'll like, I text you or I called you. Why didn't you get back to me? And same thing. I'm like, I'm sorry, but I'm busy right now. This is, you know, my working hours. You need to respect that.
Mhm.
And I have everything off and I will get back to you later when I can. And I just you set those hard boundaries with
Mhm.
everyone around you, with yourself, and otherwise, yeah, you literally you cannot get anything accomplished. I've tried, you've tried. It's not
Mhm.
possible because you're like, oh, what did they say?
Yeah.
Oh, you get stuck listening to a IGTV live or something and you're just like, oh, your work is gone.
Yeah, it's so easy nowadays to get sucked in. Like if you get that Facebook notification and you look and then something catches your eye, because if you haven't seen the social dilemma, that's what Facebook and all these things are designed to do. They're designed to put at the top the things that they know the things that they know you want to see based off of your previous activity.
Yeah.
So it's so easy to waste 30 minutes, an hour
Mhm.
based off of that one notification.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my
So,
gosh. Yeah. I literally tease my kids and because you know I find them doing a lot of the same things too because they have iPads and they'll get their notifications. I mean, literally the kids' iPads just this week were like ding, ding, ding going off. I was like, what is going on around here? You
yeah,
know? And so I went through and showed them how to turn all their notifications off because they
awesome.
couldn't even focus and get their homework done because their kids were their friends were texting and whatnot. And
Mhm.
so, yeah, I mean, we need to teach our kids this as well. Uh,
Yeah.
my,
Yeah.
yeah, my son, I was trying to do history homework with him yesterday, and it was like, you know, house party call and this and that. I'm like, bro, turn
Yeah.
it off, you know? And
One
so,
last one last thing I want to say before I let you go into more in depth about thyroid and all that is this is especially true for nighttime. If you're having your phone next to your bed, which most people do, you have it on and you have all those notifications coming through. And I know this from experience because this is exactly how I used to be. Those notifications can wake you up. When
mhm,
you're trying to go to sleep and you hear a ding come through, you're going to open up your phone,
mhm,
get blasted with that blue light, wake up, It could be a text message that's going to set you off because you don't know,
Mhm.
even if it wasn't meant to set you off.
Mhm.
And then you toss and turn and you can't sleep.
Yep.
So at the very, very least, turn your phone on silent or put in airplane mode when
Mhm.
you go to sleep, at the very least.
Amen to that. I remember when I was going through my divorce, and yeah, I didn't have my phone off at that time, and I'd get some drunk text or something from my ex. It was never a pretty thing.
Yeah.
And it would just destroy my night,
Yeah.
because like you said, you hear it. And so you're instantly just like crack hit,
Yep.
and you
If you
check it.
don't open it, then you're going to be thinking,
Yeah.
what is it? I have to open it.
Yeah.
So either way, it's a lose-lose if you have it
Yeah.
on.
Curiosity kills you. I'm with you. Like I turn my phone off all the way. I just click the button. I turn off the Wi-Fi. I click the button. I'm done.
Mhm.
And but there is the emergency. I learned this one time is if you have your phone off, some parents say like, well, what about my kids? I need to hear their calls or something. And I know this is a little exaggerated, but if you get called, I think Apple's like 5 times. If the same number calls 5 times in a row, then it will override your silent and it will come through and you'll get the
Oh, that's really interesting because I've had clients who, they have elderly parents and they're like, I can't not have my phone
yeah.
on, I can't not be accessible. So that's really cool. I'll have to remember that and tell them.
Yeah, I experienced this one night with my daughter when she was at her dad's. She texted me like 10 times. I didn't hear it. And then she called me over and over and over, and the phone actually woke me up.
Wow.
And I was so grateful for that because it really was like an emergency.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I
That-
learned that. I learned that the hard way. So, yeah, definitely know that that's there. Uh,
Cool.
so that I don't know about, other phones. Like I'm just straight Apple. So I'm sorry. I don't know if other phones do that too.
Yeah. I'll have to look because I have an Android, so I'll have to look and see. Maybe I'll just like turn it off and have my husband call me like 5 times or something.
Yeah. Yeah. Like some sort of emergency override. I would imagine it's just like a safety feature that everyone offers. So,
Yeah. So is that if your phone is completely off or if your phone's only on silent?
oh, only on silent. Like I'll just take the side button and just click it all the way down. So like no notifications, no noises, nothing comes through, no vibrate. But it's still on. That's even with the Wi-Fi off.
Okay.
Silent and Wi-Fi off, that emergency call would still come through.
Okay.
Yeah. So no worries on that. All right. So I love everything you said. I mean, it's so true and we've all experienced it. Women with thyroid conditions are always more highly sensitive to practically everything in life, from the weather to smells, tastes, light, and even sounds, they can feel overwhelmed very quickly. So I love the fact that you brought up the sensory and the overstimulation because this is a big area with myself. Even I have to have my backlight super low, otherwise it's like blinding. Like my
Mm-hmm.
man shows me his phone at night with the backlight. I'm like, ah! Like a vampire.
Yeah.
We're just super sensitive. So yeah, these notifications affect us. I maybe even more. I'm not sure. Um, so yeah, the phone notifications in particular also highly affect these women. The dinging, the vibrations, the whistles, the Voxer noises can be just too much to handle. It's overstimulating neurologically and emotionally, which can just make you want to scream at times. So I really want to dive into how these notifications affect your adrenal gland, your thyroid in particular, and your liver, because all of these organs work together. So it's like this is basically like the anatomical response of what's happening from all those things that you described. So what happens when we get these notifications that are not good is our adrenal glands. Okay, so they produce 56 different types of adrenal glands, and they're geared to help us out in different functions that we do on a daily basis. For example, They help us get ready for work, work from home, deal with our fighting kids, check our email, put together a list of what we need from the store, etc. So there are mild forms of these blends, but there's a difference between the liver soaking up that kind of mild daily living adrenaline versus the more normally publicized kind of adrenaline that's produced in times of high stress, exertion, alarm, and sorrow, which is what all of these notifications do, right? So when we get a notification of a shocking headline from a news outlet, a rude comment on our Facebook post, or some bad news in an email that your bank account was just hacked or a loved one died from COVID. There are different kinds of situations that all have these notifications turned. We all have these notifications turned on for, right? 1 second, I need to.
Yeah, and it, puts us into that fight or flight mode, like instantly.
Yeah, exactly. So and that is exactly what I'm describing, is the fight or flight mode. Thank you. So when these types of notifications happen, the kind of adrenaline that our glands released to protect us is actually toxic and corrosive to our liver, well-being in general, and is the one that I want to mainly focus on. So when you get that jolt of a shocking news headline that can make your blood start to boil or can cause you to be worried or fearful, this adrenaline spike, the one you're familiar with, I know I'm familiar with it. It's the one that makes you shaky. It makes your heart like beat faster, or you even kind of like hold your breath and you're like tense, so you can't breathe. So when you get this, when this is coursing through your bloodstream, and remember, it only lasts for 90 seconds. This is making your adrenal glands work much harder, and the liver as well. So when you get these constant adrenal rushes from these notifications, and then, even just daily living, this seriously can exacerbate any existing depression that you're already struggling with, or even bring it on, which is not okay, right? We don't want that. And secondly, specifically, my area of expertise is women that have a thyroid illness are struggling with pathogen infection, whether they know it or not, which is a pathogen is a virus or a liver. And so when you get these surges of adrenaline into your bloodstream, they actually feed and fuel the pathogens inside of your liver. And the type of pathogens I'm referring to are the Epstein-Barr virus, the shingles, or HHV6. So not only are you feeding the pathogens, but this lowers your immune system when you have this constant adrenal rush going. And when you lower your immune system, you make your body more susceptible to a flare-up, which my thyroid girls know what that is. And that's a flare-up of your symptoms. So you don't feel well. And so this adrenaline, and the reason why that happens is because it is a particular food that they feed on. So when these pathogens are feeding on your adrenaline, it is making them stronger, making them grow. And then they go poo when they eat this, and that releases neurotoxins into your bloodstream that circulate around your body and attach themselves to different places, especially your nerves, which also exacerbates symptoms, inflammation, and pain.
Wow.
So yeah, that's a lot.
That's a lot
going on.
So how do people know if they have the EBV or shingles or HHV6? Is that something that they just find through the grapevine with testing, or it's just kind of like
so
thing, like people with thyroid, they have these things?
Yeah. So you can go to your regular doctor and just say, I want a full thyroid EBV panel. And like, my doctor's really cool. And when I did this to him out of the blue, he was like, yeah, sure. Any particular reason why? And I was like, I was exposed to mono from a boyfriend in high school, and I just am curious. And so he was like, yeah, no problem. But like, I've had clients ask their doctors, and their doctors are like, oh, well, we already know that like 99% of the population has it. So we know you have it. So we don't need a test for it. And they just kind of poo-poo it off. But it is important for your emotional and mental well-being to understand that this is actually truly happening in your body. And then it helps you move forward with like a plan to be able to address that.
Yeah,
So if doctors are just totally anti, then I offer the test within my program. I can pull your labs. So the shingles and the HHV6 is more of like a well, shingles in particular, they're like a herpes. They're all like a herpes family. So if you've ever had like cold sores and genital warts, kind of things like that going on, then you have it, because once you get a virus, it's in your body for the rest of your life. So we can just kind of do some history to find out too if that's already like a health factor that you're dealing with.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So this is just, I think, between everything you said and everything I said, like, if that's not enough reasons for you to purge your phone and turn off your notifications, like, I don't know what is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we made it pretty clear.
Yeah. So do yourself a favor and go turn off your notifications.
Yes.
And then I love the fact that you touched on turning your phone off at night. And I wanted to bring that up because that's a really big thing that I have my clients do. It is a habit that I have them start doing. And so our phones emit radiation and a lot of poison.
Mm-hmm.
And where do the majority of us put our phones when we're sleeping?
Right next to our heads.
Right next to our heads on the side table. And so where's that going?
Mm-hmm.
Right into your head. And so that all the radiation, it significantly disrupts your REM sleep cycle.
Mm-hmm.
And I highly encourage everyone to get rid of the Wi-Fi out of their room. And that doesn't just mean your phone. I mean, I have a smart TV, I have a laptop, I have an iPad, I have my iPhone, my boyfriend has his iPhone, and sometimes the kids all leave their iPads in my room. It's like a radiation like hot box, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I unplug my smart TV every night. I put my laptop into sleep mode. I turn my phone off. My boyfriend turns his Wi-Fi off. We just do everything we can to like decrease all of that radiation around us. Mm-hmm. Some people go as far, like Sean Stevenson. I remember he said that they just turn off their whole modem. They just turn the whole router off and they shut down the whole house. Like, that's awesome. And I actually commend that. But I tried it, and the next morning, like waiting 20 minutes for everything to reboot was kind of a pain in the butt.
Yeah. So, I have turned the Wi-Fi off a night before. But like for us, we just turn everything we put everything in airplane mode, and that basically does the same thing.
Yeah, I've heard that. I've never actually, I'm one of those more hardcore, like, I want to make sure, so I just turn it all off. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I've heard airplane mode is fine too, because it cuts the signal.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I actually even bought one of these bags. It's like a signal stopping bag where you can put your phone in it.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it has like a magnetic top and like special material. But my phone with the case was too big and it didn't fit in it. So I was like, shoot.
Yeah.
And plus I do like use my alarm and it would stop everything. So I was like,
so the bag would stop your alarm from going off?
Yeah, it's just kind of like makes it dead. It's almost like not even having it,
Yeah.
So,
see, like mine, the alarm will still go off, but my goal is to get one of those clocks where the light, it goes like with the cycle, like the sun up and sun down.
Yeah, the sun cycle.
And then I can just like leave my phone downstairs. And
yes.
Especially in the morning, like I won't be tempted to reach for it first thing. And yeah, so that's like one of the things, that's one of my goals, is to have one of those.
I'm actually with you like that. And let's link that out in the comments because that is really, really cool. And I'm glad you brought that up. I saw that one time and I was like, this is so cool. I need this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll find it.
Yeah, exactly. So that's all I have to say on this situation. And I really hope that this like made a difference in everyone's lives and opened up their eyes a little bit to their phone health and their thyroid and phone health.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So if people want to connect with you, how can they connect with you? And you have an awesome cleanse going on right now that people can catch the replay for. So do you want to talk about that?
Oh, right. Yeah. So the cleanse actually ended yesterday. It was awesome. It was a 3-day, it was called the Thriving Thyroid, 3-day morning cleanse. And it was so fantastic. It was like such a refresher to my entire digestive system. And I really want to do it again with anyone that's interested. We all saw a lot of really good results. My waistline went down. I couldn't believe it when I woke up that yesterday morning. I was like, whoa, my stomach is still so flat and like normal again, and no
Awesome.
bloated or gassy or anything. Yeah, it was nice. So yeah, they can connect with me on Instagram is my main platform at Coach Sarah Joy. And I am on Facebook under the same name and TikTok under the same name too. If you want to go watch my cheesy TikTok.
Amazing.
What about you?
Yeah, for me, so next week I have an amazing challenge. It's a 3-day challenge, a 3-day control your anxiety morning routine challenge. So if you're struggling with mornings, if you're struggling with, either feeling like you're having to control your anxiety or your anxiety is controlling you and you find that you're being super exhausted by that, this would be perfect for you. And you can just go to my website at stephanienelsonCTNC.com/links, LINKS, and there's going to be a link there for you to register. You can also find me on Instagram, stephanie.nelson.ctnc, or search Anxiety Freedom Coach, and I'm the only one. So I'll pop up, and I would love, love, love to connect with you and see you on the challenge.
Yeah, that challenge is amazing. And I encourage everyone to join it who's struggling with anxiety for sure.
Yeah, it's going to be really fun.
The tools and the tips and the techniques that you teach are gold. And I wish I would have had them for sure when I was struggling.
Yeah, same with me too.
Well, thank you so much for your time. I really enjoyed our talk.
Yes, as always. Thank you for suggesting this.
Of course, of course. Yeah. All right, sweetheart. I will talk to you soon.
All right. Bye.
Bye.